reason why we set up the theatre company, Kali Theatre Company, was to produce my play, Song for Sanctuary, which was really inspired by the murder of an Asian woman in a Brent refuge. She was killed by her husband in front of her children. And I think the outrage that it had caused in the Asian community was massive. There were marches actually around it as well. This is an interesting story, but one that did not grab the theatre industry at that time. Rita Wolf, who was my co-founder, persuaded me to do this because she thought that that was the only way we'd have the autonomy and the control of the production. And after the excitement of the first production, which went down really well, we felt that it was important to induct other writers into the business, and we felt that there was a real dearth of Asian women writers. So we decided to dedicate the company to new writing and to try and give them the experience of theatre productions.
I might be able to tell you soon who waits across the river. God or Ram or Allah, or just some dumb neutrons and protons. I must say, heaven sounds very nice right now.
Kali Theatre Company for me was the place where I had an opportunity to write and write what I want, because it allows writers who are green from a background that is, if we were being really polite, challenging when you're going into this industry.
He wasn't the boy I remembered. Was older but smaller, weak, thin, pulled half his hair out, bitten the inside of his cheeks out. He'd been like that for over a year, apparently. Whole family was sad, burdened. House was black with smoke in places. They said if they upset him, if he got angry, fires would just start up. Kitchen, corner of the living room, telly exploded.
I'm mixed race. I wasn't raised or connected to any part of my Mauritian heritage. Really, it was very kind of distant. So Kali, for me, gave an opportunity to interrogate the other side of myself that wasn't the white British side of myself.
How is she? Just, please.
Yes, she's dead.
Suddenly I was surrounded by a group of women of colour who were able to have the conversations that I had never been able to have before.
They have given me a career. They have made me realise a dream. They've also allowed me to sort of, I always felt a responsibility to my community, and they enabled me to do that. I sort of feel like I serve my community in a sort of creative, artistic way as well. And these are things I wouldn't necessarily have got from, an established theatre or the theatre industry itself.
I'm a Kisan, a farmer, a daughter of farmers, a daughter of Punjab. Tell me, what happened to you, your husband, and your family?
This government and these big companies kept saying, buy GM seeds, stronger pesticide.
Because I had read about a spate of farmer suicides that had happened across India, as a consequence of increased sort of corporate and chemical farming. I thought it was a story that I really, really wanted to tell, but I just didn't know how to go about it. My great-grandfathers, my grandfathers, my father, they had sort of farmed on that land. So it was much more than just a story. It was very much about who I am, where I've come from, and it gave me my voice.
With 3 young children, the debt passed to me alone.
The connection that I might have with a character in a Kali play is just so kind of magnetic and forceful that you rarely get that as an actor of South Asian heritage in this country. It is making me emotional because it's one of a kind.
The fact that I took over from Rukhsana, which, and she'd set the company up, obviously, with Rita, and it was project funded. So when I took it over, it was the first time that it had been core funded by the Arts Council. So that was really, really significant because it meant for the first time we were able to plan. And that's why the quality got better. And then those writers, of course, were going off and working at the Royal Court or Soho Theatre or the Birmingham Rep, other places, you know, so their skills were getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
And the most important writing experience is the experience that meets an audience. If you write for yourself and it never meets an audience, you never get the kicks into shape that you need.
It was very unique in its nature that it dealt with the supernatural, particularly from the perspective of Muslims and their experiences with it. That really appealed to me because it was hitting a commercial market as opposed to just the fringe market. Mental conditions exist, of course they do. Voices can change, people self-harm. But no one lights a fire in a room they're not in without so much as a match. No one lifts 3 people in a city 4 foot into the air one-handed because of some mental disorder. For me, Kali stands out because they're not afraid to deal with the taboo. And being a member of the Asian community, they're untold taboos. You know, there's so many rules and restrictions. They're not afraid to kind of, you know, write a piece about it, write a story, you know, get a reaction, whether that's good or bad.
In the Black and Asian theatre scene, one of the main criticisms was the fact that the work wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. That's what we always got. So I set out to say it is good enough. We will make it as good as anything else that's out there. And that was the aim. That's what we really wanted to do.
When I have creative discussions with them, I don't ever feel that they are changing the crux of my story. I always feel that they are looking at it with me and trying to help me see what best tells this story.
And we had some very loyal actors that would do a lot of work with us. And then we, you know, it's about building them up as well. So the whole thing just gets better, you know?
She's dead, yes.
Oh no. Oh. Something that's inherently haunted my own career is that I'm a risk. I'm not Oxbridge. I say what I think. The theatre world is sometimes very narrow and likes to reflect itself.
Was she buried?
I don't know.
Did you burn her? She didn't want to be burned. Did you burn her? Where is she?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Well, how can you not? How can you not know?
I'm going to call the police now.
Tell me. Oi!
We've seen an awful lot of stories maybe about more middle class people experiencing Alzheimer's and it's the sadness of it. But I hadn't seen, certainly not on stage, a representation of it through a working class lens.
Alyssa has just come out of prison. Teresa, my character in the meantime, has been caring for her mother alone for a year.
Something so emboldening about, like, there's 3 of you. You've got this amazing character, like, so layered and juicy, and the story's so juicy.
The fact that there's a mix of races in the family, that was really important to me. I'm mixed race, but I don't ever tend to get cast as a member of a family, even though I am a member of a family. So that was really special to explore that family dynamic, very different to what I would normally be exploring on stage.
30 is a new initiative, a new book that we've had published by Muthy that showcases 22 of our writers from the last 30 years, from productions that they've written for us.
Like the quality of the writing that they give us, they're not just giving us, you know, any old piece. They're really carefully selecting these pieces so that the actors really have a chance to just take it and chew it and explode it.
We've had quite a big impact and quite a lot of influence in the wider industry
of theatre, television and film and help to diversify that landscape.
Sometimes over a year or 2 years before something is produced. And when it is, it's quite extraordinary because the person that the Kali is supporting has so much to say and has been stopped from exploring that possibility of explanation for such a long time.
We're a refuge from orthodoxy. We have provided a safe and nurturing and inviting environment to develop their skills.
You've been protesting for a long time now. How long will you continue?
We'll sit through the harsh winters, scorching summers, bruises and blood-stained cotton till they hear us.
By the mere fact of being South Asian female writers writing in a very white, male-dominant world, I think that's an inherently political act in itself.
There isn't really a choice. It is political by proxy, almost.
And became a Buddhist. And I stayed a Buddhist for several years until I went back in maturity to my old faith, atheism. That's a wee bit scary right now.
Theatre is not a part of our tradition, and that is what Kali did by putting that play on.
What message do you have for the rest of the world?
Kisan Ekta, Zindabad. Kisan Ekta, Zindabad.
To see an audience full of people like me, you know, who they just don't go to the theatre and responding so positively. When theatre talks about we need increased diversity, they need to put on those stories to draw people in from those communities.
Everything that we're doing at the moment and looking ahead to is about bringing on the next generation.
So we have come a long way since, and I suppose we'll go further as things change and inclusivity and diversity become a bit of a pattern in this country, but they were not at that time.
Kali have done an immense job, a fantastic job in elevating the status of theatre, within my community.
The viewpoints of women are still often misinterpreted and lie dormant rather than being explored fully. And I think Kali, from its very beginning with Rukhsana and Rita and through Janet Steele and through Helena and the board now are trying to continue that tradition. So that's very important.
It was really an imaginative and a bold step. But the fact that we exist 30 years on proves that we were needed.